Hello, everybody. It's Jim Manning. I am the author of Patriotism, Unhinged. The book is available worldwide through online retailers. This is, once again, an interesting twist. Back in the day, whenever it was very popular to upset a country, there developed two armies that people at the time didn't know much about. One was called the Wild Geese, and it was run by British officers, and the complement was pretty much people who lived in the islands. They trained them to a sharp edge, and they were very, very proficient at attacking something, and almost nobody lived when they attacked a village or even a camp that was all soldiers. So it became famous, and there was a movie that came out called The Wild Geese. And the other army was called the Mirage. But that one was primarily made up of the SS people that had gotten out of Germany after the Second World War. They and their children and families, quite a few of them got out and made their way to Argentina. History has it that, in all probability, Hitler got out too. And Bob Baer, who was a CIA agent for over 20 years, did a personal study on that. It was on television a couple of years ago. And I believe it's also his conclusion that Hitler lived there for quite a while. So, but all their children went through a school there that was like, they were teaching the same elements that they were teaching in Germany during the war in the 30s and so forth. And so they became pretty proficient at military subjects and how to kill, how to shoot, all those sorts of things. And they were in the group, the Mirage, and I'm not sure, I'm still studying it, but I'm not sure. But my understanding is that Jim Fowles was one of the leaders of that group. And so whenever they had something they had to do, they would call in Jim. He wasn't like the leader, the way Mike Hoare was of the Wild Geese, but he was called in because of his abilities, and he'd be running the show pretty much. That's a prelude to what happened at the Dawson Island raid. Now, at the Dawson Island raid, Orlando Letelier had been captured and was in prison, and the United States wanted to get him out. And so they sent a team down. Jim Fowles was in the team, and they exited him from the prison without too much trouble. They thought, it would be a real gunfight, but it didn't turn out that way. And they got him out, and they brought him back, and he took residence in the Chilean embassy in Washington, D.C. I believe it was at Sheridan Circle. At any rate, when they did that, they had plans for him that all of a sudden he had no interest in complying with. And so they killed him. Now that killing was a bombing in downtown Washington, D.C. in front of the Chilean embassy. Orlando Letelier and Ronnie Carpin Muffet were killed. And there was a third person in the car, but they survived. The bomb for that was made by Jim Fowles. Now, Jim Fowles used to go to a man who worked for a construction company. He provided him with a couple of cases of dynamite, and it wasn't the first time that he got dynamite from that fella. And he built 2 bombs. He built that bomb, and he also built a bomb. I don't believe he placed the bomb in the car. He just built it. And then he built another bomb that I don't believe he put in a plane, but it took down flight 455, I believe, which was a Cuban plane in which I believe 77 people were killed. So that's another touch on Jim Fowles, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that.
We had Nixon, and he had Kissinger as his right-hand man, and they wrote what was known as Track 1, which served us in Central America and also in South America as well, which was kidnapping important people, high-ranking politicians, and ransoming them back and collecting the money off of that and using that to fight the wars. Well, when you give automatic weapons to some Hispanics, they get a little wild and crazy with them, and so got through the party that had been kidnapped, got executed during the kidnapping. So they had to rewrite Track 1, and they rewrote Track 2. Track 1 became Track 2, and that was to include assassinations. And from there, we went on down to Chile. But we used the Track 1 and Track 2 also in Chile. And we was trying to overthrow the Chilean government, which Allende was there. The people loved him. We tried 3 times. We lost at the polls 3 times. The only thing left was a military coup. Well, we was running death squads there, killing about 360 families a night. Sometimes it'd be 4 or 5 people in a family, you know. Flatbeds were hauling them away, dumping the bodies in the Nubel River. It was so clogged up that fishermen couldn't fish. If they put out the fishing nets, they pulled in pieces of human beings, you know, the bodies.
Yeah.
And so we said we had to go to the military coup, and we was getting our ass kicked in that. And we had to get 3,000 cutouts flown in from Argentina. The 3,000 cutouts were 3,000 mercenaries. That was Germans, all Germans. And we overthrew the government, and Allende, the night that he died, he was offered to go live in exile. He could take his family, his money, and his palace guard with him and live in exile. And his answer over the radio was, "No, I love my beloved people. I love my beloved country. I will stay and I will die here fighting for my people and my country." And he died that night, Allende. He died on the stairwell with an SMG in his hands. And as the people went up the stairs and stormed the palace, they stopped and took time to fire 1 round into his body. He was shot several times, many times.
Yeah.
His body was riddled. And he died like he said he would.
Right.
He wouldn't leave his country.
Yeah.
And then we put Pinochet into power. And you know how that went. That didn't go over too good.
I don't remember what happened with that, but yeah.
And what was your personal involvement with all of that in terms of your eyewitness?
I was on the front lines.
Yeah.
I was leading the guys. I didn't lead from behind. I didn't lead from behind, sitting behind the desk. I got out there, and the only way I would train men and lead men is I'm going to be in the front. I'm going to be the first guy up the helicopter, and I'm going to be the last guy on it getting out. But I looked after my men. I thought they were great. And it's what we call brotherly love. And there was, it's like Vietnam. We wasn't fighting for mother and apple pie and the American dream. We were fighting to stay alive, and we'd put our backs to each other, and we wouldn't leave each other on the line. We stayed, we fought. And like I said, with the 82nd Army, surrender, that was not in our vocabulary.
There came a time whenever somebody had to be extracted from a prison down south.
Yeah, that was Dawson Island, Magellan Straits.
Dawson Island, yeah.
Off the tip of South America.
Yeah. And I guess the CIA did that. And they brought him back, and he was billeted at the embassy, Chilean embassy? Or
yeah. But before that was We got him out of prison. He was almost dead.
Oh, he was?
Because Dawson Island prison. That was a political prison.
Right.
And he was in bad shape, so we got him out, put him on the submarine with us, carried him back out to the Pacific, where we met up with the carrier. We put him on the carrier.
Yeah.
They put him on an airplane. They flew him back to Reseda Hospital. And a year later, we was ordered to terminate him. We tried to tell everybody he was a communist sympathizer, but you can't tell the American government anything because they know it all.
Right.
And so a year later, they told us to kill him, and they didn't say where at. So we were being a bunch of smartasses, so we decided to do it on Sheridan Circle, which is Embassy Road.
Can you describe how the extraction would happen?
Oh, we went in by submarine. We went in there wintertime under ice, and we come up through the ice. Then we went ashore. We went. They had the ducks there, and we got in ducks, and we drove the ducks into where the prison was at. And we went in there. We told them what we wanted. And so they kind of looked at us kind of funny. So we shot half a dozen right off the bat, and they knew that we were serious. They were hollering, "Don't shoot, don't shoot!" And then they went and they got not L.A.N.D. Lethierry. They went and got him out of the cell, and they carried him up there to us, and he was in bad shape. So we took him out. We put him back aboard the submarine, and then we went through the Magellan Straits out to the Pacific, where we met up with the carrier. We surfaced, and we put him on the carrier. They put him on an airplane. They flew him to Reseda, the hospital.
But the hit was made in Washington, D.C., right?
September 21st, 1976.
Yeah.
I remember well.
Yeah. It was a bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah. First of all, let's go back to the beginning. I went to Facundo Mining Company in the Dominican Republic. I forget the foreman's name. I probably think of it later, but right now I can't remember it. I got the explosives, and there's 4 people that witnessed me signing for the explosives. And later they were supposed to go to a grand jury and testify against me, but they disappeared. They never got to the grand jury. And anyway, I took the explosives, and I went to New York. And Priscilla Buckley was the receptionist there. Her brother, Howard Buckley. And so I said, "Give this package to your brother." She didn't even ask me what it was, and I didn't tell her what it was. So she took the package, and she said she would see that he got it. And he delivered the explosive. He met with Michael Vernon Townley. Michael Vernon Townley had the explosives. He manufactured the bombs, or he gave it to Luis Posadas. He manufactured the bombs, and he made 2 bombs. He made one for Letier's Chevelle, which killed Letier, and also killed Ronnie Moffett, or not Ronnie, Michael. Yeah, Ronnie Moffett. And then Michael Moffett, her husband, was in the back seat. He survived it. And so, and one bomb was used there. We used the garage door opener, taped it down, laid it on the Romanian embassy window ledge. And when the Letier drove by there, he drove through the beam, the button taped down, and the Chevelle blew up. And that killed him. It was put right underneath the front seat. And I mean, it did a hell of a job on Letier. And the second bomb was used for bombing the Cuban airliner, which killed over 70 people.
Wow.
And that was on October 12th of 76, 77, I believe. 76. 12 days after the assassination, the bombing there on Sheridan Circle. Yeah, 76.
76.
And when they come and they ask me, a couple of people, one of the government, they said, "Tell us something that nobody else knows." And I said, "Okay, I'll tell you." I said, "The assassination on Sheridan Circle in Washington, D.C., everybody knows about that." I said, "The bombing of the Cuban airline, everybody knows about that." I said, "Yeah, everybody knows about it. It was in all the newspapers and all the TV.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that nobody told them.
Yeah.
That nobody knows." They said, "What's that?" I said, "Every batch of explosives has got a batch number." I said, "The 2 bombs were made from the same batch of explosives. I just go to the archives and check it at Langley." I said, "Both bombs were made from that." And they went there and they sent word back that I was a walking dead man. I just hadn't been laid down and got covered up yet. But both bombs come out of the same batch. And nobody knew that but me. And Luis Posada Corrales is the one that put it on the Cuban airliner. And Michael Vernon Townley's wife, after the assassination of Shirley Circle, she made a statement to the news media. She said, for the CIA, my husband was a killing machine. She says, but now for the press, he is a talking machine.
So now you've seen Jim mention it and talk about it. And for him, it was just another assignment. Just another assignment. He went on the raid to get him out, and then he built the bomb they used to kill him. And it's one more example of why they put him in so many different events, because he never missed. He never missed. Mr. Reliable, one of the best. We have more to give you, similar things. Another thing about Mr. Fowles, I think that the people who are consistently saying that they don't believe Mr. Fowles have never spent any time really researching him. They don't know about the naval birthing program, and they don't know about how he wasn't even sure who his mother and father were. They don't know. It's just imaginable that, or maybe unimaginable, that he was moving through life on a different track than most of us. And it seems to be evident that at some point, switch went off. This is what I am, this is what I do. And that was him.